The Morning Sports Desk, available on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com.
It's another edition of the Morning Sports Desk, a special edition of the Morning Sports Desk where we get to preview another regional athlete who's going to be competing in the state girls tennis tournament, this time in singles action. Sophomore Ronnie Noska of Staples-Motley is going. She took second place in Section 8A, and she's joining us on this special episode of the Morning Sports Desk. First of all, Ronnie, congratulations on reaching the state tournament.
Thank you.
And, just for those who don't know, have you been to the state tournament before, or is this your first time getting to go down?
Yes. My 8th grade year, I competed on the team as well as individually. And last year, I played doubles individually with former tennis player Lauren Rutten.
And, for somebody like yourself who's been down there before, now competing this time in singles, was that something that was on your goals at the beginning of the season, was getting down to state?
Yes and no. Actually, my goal was more towards hitting 100 wins. I didn't really care if I made it to state or not. Obviously, I do care, and it's a big deal, but hitting 100 wins was more important to me this year.
And were you able to get to that goal, and if so, when?
Yes, I hit 100 wins the first round of individuals for sections.
And what was it like to get that 100th win, and something that, like you talked about, you've been wanting to get to all season long? What was it like to finally reach that milestone?
It was very relieving, and it basically turns competing in tennis to just tennis. After that point, it proved to me that all my hard work is paid off, basically.
Awesome. And, getting back to kind of the talk of state, was there a moment for you kind of when you thought, obviously it's something that you knew you were capable of, but when was there a point where you're like, oh my goodness, like, I think I'm going to get to the state tournament this year?
I don't really remember or recall, like, any of that going through my mind. After I lost my first round, my actually semifinal match on Friday, it was kind of hard to get out of that. But then once I won my next match against Kaya Anderson, it all came back to me and realized that, hey, I'm right there. I can beat this next girl, and I can be in the state tournament again.
And, a big thing, obviously, in a lot of individual and duo sports, but, for your sake, you're an individual tennis player this year. What's that mental aspect of tennis like, and how do you think you rate how important is that mental aspect of tennis?
Definitely the mentality of tennis is the most important thing. You could be one of the worst tennis players, and if you have a great mental fortitude and you're playing somebody that's way better than you but has no mental game, you're going to win all day long.
And for yourself, you've been to the state tennis tournament, like you talked about, a couple different times in a couple different ways. How do you think this is going to be different now as a singles player rather than on the team or in the doubles?
8th grade year I did play singles individually, but this year it's definitely a lot different. I don't have Lauren on the team, so it's just me right now, and it's a lot more stressful just because I don't really have somebody to connect with. Nobody on our team is having the same feelings that I'm having, so it's just a lot different in that aspect.
You've been to the state tennis tournament multiple times. You've gotten 100 wins. What do you think makes you a great tennis player? What are some of the things you do that you think you do very well?
I hate answering these kind of questions, actually. I try to stay very humble about everything, but I think one of the best things that I do is I work really hard when I'm at tennis, and I work really hard for the stuff that I get through tennis. I'm very focused and push my hardest, but then the biggest thing is when I'm not playing tennis, I'm not playing tennis, I'm not thinking about tennis, and I have a completely different life outside of tennis, and I try to do and value all the other things I do, such as horse riding and hunting is a big thing that I do, that I enjoy doing. I think taking a break from tennis once in a while is a great thing for me because sometimes you get in the groove, and when things don't go right, then you put too much pressure on it, so I like to do other things other than tennis.
Awesome. And let's look forward here to the state tennis tournament. You're going down there, like we've talked about. You've been down there before. For somebody who hasn't been down there, how cool of an atmosphere is it to get to be at that state tennis tournament with some of the best tennis players in the state?
It's a good feeling. It's definitely like if I was to tell someone they're coming in new, I would say, I want you to go and play like there is zero pressure, because realistically there is no pressure when you get down to the state tournament. Only a handful of girls get to go down there and play, and it's definitely, the ball sounds different. Everything is different down there, and it's such a different atmosphere that if you're playing like crap when you get down there, you can't hold it against yourself, because everything is so different and high pressure.
And last question for you here. What are your expectations when you get down to the state tennis tournament? Do you have any? Is it to reach a certain place? Is it to beat a certain opponent? Or is it just to go down there? What are your goals when you get down to the state tournament later this week?
I've thought about a couple different goals, and I think the biggest one that I'm going to stick to is definitely just being all in and everything and enjoying every single moment, 1 point at a time. And I would love to make it to Friday, just to make it to the second day and not get taken out first day, obviously, but I just want to make sure that I'm giving it 120% without a doubt.
We're talking with sophomore Ronnie Noska of Staples-Motley girls tennis. She took second place in Section 8A and is going down to the state girls tennis tournament later this week. Ronnie, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you.
The Morning Sports Desk, available on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com.